So we had a little bit of a surprise today. Not only did we get all of the details for the Payday collaboration event that starts tomorrow, but we were also given the news that tomorrow we will be getting a title update, Year 7, Season 1.2. Now, a lot of things are being changed and, tweaked and whatnot. And yes, we are getting a new event, both free and paid for, starting tomorrow. But today's video is about what you should be doing before tomorrow's update, because remember, once tomorrow's update goes live, the global event will end. What's going on, YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, so sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But, that's true. Tomorrow the global event ends, and I'm going to show you which caches to buy and why. I am also going to show you both a veteran version and a new player version, or should I say new and or returning, because your stars and your resources and everything might look a little bit different depending on which one of those categories you fall under. So, in today's video, I'm going to show you which caches to buy and why, because tomorrow you will lose all of your global event stars. Now, time and time again, people will send me comments, the day after and say, crap, man, I forgot about the global event. I forgot to buy those caches. Shoot. And then I say, yeah, man, you're going to have to wait until next season when they bring back that global event. Because I don't know if you knew this, but your stars stay with that global event. So if you forget to spend the stars, yes, it does go back to 0 when the new global event goes live, but the stars that you do not spend stick with that global event. So say we only get reanimated once a season. That's fine if you forget to spend your stars, but you have to wait until next season when Reanimated goes live again for you to, receive those stars back. So it is true you will lose these stars until next season. So, what do I mean by depending on your resources dictates what to buy? Well, here's a great example. I'm on my main character. This is my numero uno. This is my main man. Now this thing, I have all maxed out resources. So you can see all the way down across the board, it's all red because I'm max on resources. Same with optimization. So if you are in the same position that I am in, veteran player that plays daily, has max resources, what you would want to buy here would be the exotic caches, without a doubt. Because the number one material that I am lacking are exotic components. Now, I was about to say DZ resources, but it's just because I've been running around the DZ like crazy getting exotic components, and I'm at 0 right now. Because there are so many things to upgrade in this game with your expertise that it costs a lot of exotic components, hundreds of exotic components. So whenever you can, if you are maxed out on your materials here, the number one thing I would say pick up would be the exotic caches, because that way you can break them down. If it's exotic, you already have, and then you can get all of those components to work on your expertise upgrades. Now, yes, I'll be doing another video in the future about expertise upgrading, because I have had so many comments about the expertise system lately, so I think it's fitting that we do like a refresher on what to do with expertise and why. But this is all for veteran players, right? So if you're a veteran player, you're going to pick up the exotic cache. Now, what if you're a new and or returning player? Well, this is where I'm going to go over to my newest character. So remember that your characters share scavenging points, but they do not share materials until you talk to Anaya and buy the share materials option. So what I do is I pretty much farm on a new character and I get my materials up. And then I transfer them over to my main account. So I'm still stacking materials, but I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. So here's my my fourth character, and if I go to my shade or my scavenging points under my shade watch, you'll see that I'm not max on any of my materials. I'm just grinding, grinding. You know what I mean. So I'm grinding materials here. Now, whenever I go to the global event vendor, and I have to go back to DC to do this because the one in Brooklyn is bugged, but they said they're supposed to fix it starting tomorrow. We'll see. But if I go back to DC, I can show you what it looks like on a new character. So this would signify like a new and or returning player, right? So you come over here and you can pick up all the materials you want because you're not maxed on anything, right? So let's talk about this if you are a new and or returning player. So which caches should you go for? Right off the bat, exotics are good if you need exotics that you don't have. If you're going for exotic components, don't buy this cache. It's easier to get exotics, in other places. But if you're looking for a actual exotic item that you don't have, this is a good way to farm, get those exotics, and then that way, you can get your builds and everything built up. But if you already have all of your exotics, you probably don't need that unless you're going for expertise. The Legacy Season Cache is only good if you are looking for gear from a previous season. It's really not that great of a cache. However, I will tell you some things that are in this cache that you might want. The Dark Winter, a lot of people want that. It is in the Legacy Season Cache because it was in a previous season. Not only that, but System Corruption. A lot of people ask about the System Corruption gear set. That is also in this Legacy Season Cache. It's rare because remember, and I do not recommend picking up this cache. The reason I do not recommend this cache is because they throw all of the loot from all of the seasons into this cache. So if you're looking for a specific gear set, the odds of you getting that gear set are very, very, very low. So I would not ever recommend this cache. Now, yes, there is a possibility you could get the Dark Winter, and yes, there is a possibility you could get the System Corruption, but it's slim to none. Next up, we have optimization caches. I would not pick up the optimization cache either. Whether you're new, returning, or a veteran, I would not pick up these caches. The reason being is you can craft all of these materials from the crafting station, and it's cheaper. That way you're not spending stars, and that way you can just craft all the things you need for optimizing your build. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you run over here to the crafting station, right here, and go to the very bottom, you'll see optimization. You can actually craft all of these materials you need to optimize whatever gear item you need. And here are all the faction ones right here at the bottom, followed by all of the gear materials, all of the weapon materials, and then finally the activity materials. But you can craft all of these, and it's really not that expensive. So I would not go for the optimization cache either. So right now, right off the bat, there we go. So if you're new or returning, exotics, if you don't have the exotics, but then I would skip over to the named item cache. I would skip these two and go to the named item cache. So if you don't need exotics or exotic components, next up would be named items from your named item cache. Now this cache will give you any named item in the game, including PvP named items. The only named items that are not in this cache are the ones from your specializations and the ones from the hunters. But all the other named items in the game are in this cache. If you're looking for a PvP, let's see, the exclusive items for PvP, like the Claws Out, the Emperor's Guard knee pads, the Hollow Man mask, the apartment. The list goes on and goes on. But they're all in this cache because they're all named items. So you can get all of those and more within this cache. It is nice if you are farming for those named items. This is a good cache to pick up, and you might be surprised with some other named items that you get. I mean, what, like the Picaro's holster, the Zero F's chest piece, the gift, the contractor's gloves, the fox's prayer. I mean, the list will just keep going. The sacrifice. These are all great named items that you can use. In fact, most of my builds will feature, at least one named item. Now, as far as farming that for materials or anything, negative. You are only doing the named item cache and the exotic cache for those items. You can also do the exotic cache for the exotic components, but that's a different farm. Now, what I would highly recommend for new and returning players would be the recalibration crafting cache. Now, if you look at the gear crafting and you look at the weapon crafting, you are only getting 30 and 40 materials per. Where you go to the recalibration crafting, you get 65 and 70 materials per. So what I do for my new and my new characters that I'm trying to get my materials up, I'll start with this cache right here because I don't really need any named item caches. I have all the blueprints from Descent. And side note, if you hate Descent, I completely agree with you. I understand fully. But just understand where I'm coming from. If you were to farm the Nemesis and just the Nemesis for like maybe a week or so, you could get all named item blueprints in the game, except for the Hunter named item blueprints and the specialization named item blueprints. But you can get all the other ones from Descent and from farming the Nemesis, getting that reconstructed cache, just so you know. Then you never have to get a named item cache ever again because you can just craft them yourself. So long story short, if you are a veteran player, highly recommend going for the exotic caches, get your components, get your exotics up. That way you can get your expertise up. If you are new or returning, I would say exotic cache, named item cache, or the recalibration cache. Those would be your three. I would highly recommend the exotic to get whatever exotic that you're missing, whether it be the Memento, the Vile Mask, the Scorpio, the St. Elmo's Engine, whatever. Get those while you can. Named items, I would pick those up only if you don't have the named items you are looking for your build. If you're going for like duplicates and stuff like that, you could easily do that in Countdown. But for this vendor, I would only focus on that if you are missing a specific named item for your build. And if both of those are good to go, recalibration crafting cache all day, get your materials up, bada bing, bada boom. But all right, all of those will disappear starting tomorrow. But remember, if I were to not spend my 64 stars, next season, whenever Reanimated comes back, I'll still have these 64 stars, just so you know. But spend them while you can. That way you don't have to wait till next season. I am Kamikazevondoom, and this is what you need to do before tomorrow's update. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Shout out where you're from. It's cool to see where everyone's from. But that's it for me. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, and peace out.